Hello and welcome back to my channel, Defying the Stars. Today I'm going to be doing a tarot reading from a new setting, my boyfriend's dining room table, which is very nice for this, so kudos to him for having a great table. For today's reading, I want to talk about mental health. I think at the time that I'm filming this, we are looking down the barrel of winter. It's mid-November, and we're in the midst of an ongoing pandemic that appears to be resurging, especially in the United States, where I am. And I just wanted to do kind of a mental health check to give everyone an idea of kind of where we're at, what we should be on the lookout for, what we can do to best take care of ourselves in the coming months. So I'm going to ask you to pick one of these piles, and I will show you a little bit of them, but I will not show you what is actually on the cards until we get into the reading. But group one is going to be this whale shape and this floral patterned advice card. Group two, flower shape and this castle printed advice card. Group three, this sort of a sunburst and this polka dot advice card. In group four, another sunburst and someday my prince will come. Yeah, it's a little cheesy, but this is just a general advice card underneath it though, and it may not have anything at all to do with a romance reading, so don't let that deter you if you're feeling drawn to pile four. All right, on that note, I'm going to jump into the readings. Group one, I'll see you in a second. For the rest of you, I will be putting timestamps in the description box below so you can jump ahead to your reading. All right, group one, let's get straight into your reading about your mental health moving forward over the next few months. I'm going to hold this special advice card until the end to kind of wrap up your whole reading. And we're going to start off with your shape card, which for you is the shape of a whale, which indicates that it's a water associated card. This is the Page of Cups for you. All right, so the advice with this card is to be playful, approach with optimism. So for those of you who chose group one, clear advice from the start to keep finding ways to enjoy yourself. Keep finding ways to look on the bright side of things. You know, it's hard for a lot of us right now, I believe, with just everything that's going on to stay light and positive and optimistic, especially when we can't do a lot of the things that we would normally do for fun. So right out of the gate, some good advice for you there. I'll kind of move this into your view as well so you know what's coming. And now I will dive straight into tarot. So today I'm actually going to start with my cat tarot. For those of you who are not cat people, I do apologize. For me, when it comes to, you know, my mental state and well-being, I just jive with cats. I have a cat personality. So let's get some shuffling going. Right off the bat, I want to ask Spirit what the general state of your mental health is right now, and where we're headed. What kind of trajectory are we on? So group one, how is their mental health and where are we headed? Where are we headed? Group one, please. One. What's going on for them? Tell me more. All right. not getting much else out, so I'm just going to start with this one card and go from there, because I think it's very significant. Oh, there we go. Okay, so to start with, our first card out is the Queen of Pentacles, and she is reversed. The Queen of Pentacles reversed tells me that you are struggling with resources, you are struggling with a scarcity, a lack mindset. I think there, you know, given what's going on in the world, I wouldn't be surprised at all if you were encountering some kind of financial struggle. And if that's the case, I am so sorry. It seems like that's the thing that's weighing on you most heavily right now. For some of you, this could indicate a little bit of overindulgence or carelessness with your resources, but I feel like for most of you, it's about a lack. It's about a mindset of lacking. And, you know, for those of you who, you know, practice manifestation, the law of attraction, those kinds of ideas, when we're stuck in a lack mindset, what we tend to attract is more lack. So that's something to really be cognizant of as it comes to protecting your mental health and, you know, just getting your life in a good place. So the other cards that came out, the Tower came out reversed. What I'm getting from this is that the Tower moment for you has already passed. So a Tower moment in anyone's life is very jarring, very unsettling. It tears your foundations up, and it can be good in terms of pulling out anything that was unstable and getting rid of those things. But it's also very, very unsettling, and it causes a lot of change and disruption, which is hard for anyone. But I feel like this card is saying, we've already had this moment, which I interpret as the worst is over already. You've already had this moment, and I think you're just still recovering from the shock and the struggle of it. The final card that came out is a great card. It is the Four of Wands, which is a card about balanced, stable energy. It is a card of happy home. It's a great card for, you know, just wanting some comfort and solid stability. And this card tells me that if it is not already in your life, it is on its way. And that makes it more important than ever to remain optimistic and hopeful, so that you are manifesting this bright, beautiful thing that's meant to come to you. I'm going to pull some clarifiers on these with my Modern Witch Tarot deck, see if there's any more information. And then I'm going to start pulling some advice for you, Group 1, on just what you can do over the next few months to kind of keep it together. So Queen of Pentacles, can you tell me more about why the Queen of Pentacles is coming out reversed here? Queen of Pentacles, please. All right. Okay. So, Queen of Pentacles is clarified by the Empress. What that tells me is that this situation, this situation of lack or lack of self-control, this is more a temporary mindset than a permanent state, because this is what you're meant to be. You are meant to be an Empress, and the Empress is the higher iteration of that Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles has her limits. The Empress combines the energies of all the queens into this incredible divine feminine energy that is powerful and persuasive, yet nurturing and kind and giving. It is abundant. And so I think what this clarifier is saying here with the Queen of Pentacles is that you are meant for abundance. You are meant to be the Empress ruling over your empire. Don't let the lack mentality hold you down. don't let the idea that you don't have enough, or don't let striving towards that so hard interfere with letting it evolve on its own. And what I mean by that is sometimes we put so much energy and so much of our resources into trying to make something happen. And we would have been so much better off if we just let it evolve naturally. So, not spending a ton of money to get the amazing wardrobe that you think you need to have in order to land your dream job. Just get the one interview outfit, and you will make the money to have the most amazing wardrobe in the world. It's a very simplified answer, but just to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. And it's about letting things come to you. Sometimes we strive so hard for things, but because all we're thinking about is what we don't have, we're really blinded to any other opportunity for things to come to us. So I think that's a big point that's coming out here, is that you need to just sit back as the Empress. It's not to say, don't try, don't work. It's not to say be lazy, but it is to say, sit back and survey your empire and wait for things to come to you a little bit. Draw them towards you, coax them towards you, instead of hunting and seeking them. And, look at this Queen of Pentacles reversed. I'll show you what she looks like upright. This is a cat digging around in a toy that it's like a treat maze for cats, if you don't have a cat and don't immediately know what that is. It's a toy designed to work with the cat's motor skills so that they have to dig the treat out in order to eat it. So it's a card about really working hard and working maybe harder than you have to get that treat. And, this cat is fairly plump, I would say. So it's kind of like, why are you working so hard for this treat? You don't even need any more treats. You fine. So there may be a little bit of that there too. You may be working very hard towards something, and it may not even be what you need or what's in your best interest. And that could be another reason why the Page of Cups is coming out here, telling you to be playful and to remain optimistic, because you may be getting too deep, too stuck on work and putting all that work into accumulating resources, when really you could sit back a little bit and just draw it towards you and balance that energy. We'll move along to the next clarifier now. So we can clarify the Tower reverse. Okay, we have a lot coming out here. Let's see what happened. All right, so first cards to fall out. Okay, so King of Pentacles. This could be referring to you, to where you were before the Tower moment happened. It could be someone in your life that was a source of a lot of stability, and maybe even someone you relied on financially. Maybe someone, is gone from your life that you relied on for that stability, and now you're in this place of, oh God, how do I do this by myself? Either of those things are possible. I'm guessing for most of you, what happened is that the Tower shook your sense of control over your material world. It really disrupted your sense of stability. And so you went from a King of Pentacles upright to a Queen of Pentacles reversed. And you stopped being in control of things, and you started to be more passive and more reactionary. And so it could be that finding your way back into control of that is important. We also have the Four of Cups came out. The Four of Cups often comes out when we are either skeptical of an opportunity, or we're worried that we're turning something down that we should be taking. So with it coming out upright, I think that in combination with the other cards that are here, this may be saying that there is an opportunity knocking for you, but because you are in your lack mindset, you can't see it right now. Or you feel like it's too good to be true. So you just want to focus on the things that you know for sure are right in front of you. You know what's in those 3 cups in front of you. So you don't want to risk letting any of those cups tip in order to take the one that's being handed to you. I think that it is important in this case to take the risk and take that cup. Taking that cup does not mean you lose the 3 cups that you have. And taking that cup does not mean that you lose anything. You could be gaining something amazing, but you have to be optimistic and you have to believe that that's a possibility in order to really embrace it and see it and make it work. Coming along with that, I am also pulled out the Chariot, which is a clear indicator to me that it is time to move forward. It is time to take action. It is time to put your chariot in motion. I see it as coming out, you know, kind of under these 2 cards, because the King of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups came out together, and this card and the next one that I have in my hand came out together. When I'm interpreting these 2 together, it could be that there's a King of Pentacles figure in your life that has offered you a cup that you're not sure about. But it could also be that, you know, it's just something that was lost to you. It could be too that you feel like you've lost this opportunity in your Tower moment. I just want to throw that out there. But I feel like it's not really lost. You may feel like you lost the opportunity, but I don't think you did lose it. So I think it is time now that you have overcome the shock of the Tower to go ahead and start moving, rev up this motorcycle that this modern witch is riding and move forward. And, you know, the Chariot, to me, it's a card about taking a calculated risk. It is associated with the sign of Cancer. So, you know, Cancers are quite reserved and they're not known to take drastic action or drastic risks. But Cancer is associated with home and security and, you know, that feeling of comfort and safety that you get from your home environment. And I think that, you know, when it comes to an action card like the Chariot tied back to that energy, it's time to take a chance, a calculated risk, to give yourself that comfort and security that you need to feel that warmth of home around you. And finally, the last card that came out was the Ace of Pentacles, which is a fantastic sign. It is a further emphasis that some kind of opportunity is available to you. It is not a guarantee of success, but it is a clear indicator that there is a good opportunity knocking at your doorstep. Some of you may already know what this opportunity is, but you've been skeptical of it or just, you know, unsure. You've been stuck in some other energies. If that's the case, I think it is time to kind of pull away from those negative energies and really dive into this opportunity. For those of you who are not sure what this opportunity is or it hasn't been presented yet, just open your eyes up and, you know, make sure that you are optimistic and open to possibilities, because having that open mindset is the key to recognizing this opportunity when it presents itself to you. And now finally, I'm going to clarify the, not sure if that was meant for this since I hadn't even started talking yet, so we'll reshuffle and find out. I'm going to clarify the Four of Wands. Okay, got a lot of talking. All right, so for the Four of Wands, we have the Nine of Cups reversed. The Nine of Cups reversed to me speaks of discontentment. It is about a wish that has gone unfulfilled. But the Nine of Cups, a phrase that always sticks with me with the Nine of Cups is be careful what you wish for. And I think what that indicates to me with this Four of Wands is that the stability and the comfort that you're seeking may not look like what you were wishing for. It may not look like what you were trying to get. And it may be also that the only thing keeping you from experiencing that Four of Wands happiness and stability is that you are stuck in this place of discontentment. You are fixated on, the 9 cups is, implicitly the 9 out of 10, right? So you are focused on the 1 cup that is missing instead of the 9 cups you have in front of you, which is another reason to, as the Page of Cups says, be playful, be optimistic. It's cheesy, and I don't blame you if you don't want to listen to this, because Lord knows I have many times in my life refused to listen to this advice. But reminding yourself of the things that you are grateful for every day does actually play a role in shifting your thought processes. It's, whether you're just looking at it from a psychological point of view or whether you're looking at it from a spiritual point of view, if you are thinking about the way that spirit interacts with you, they're much more likely to bring blessings into your life if they sense that you are grateful for what you receive and aware of the work that they are doing on your behalf. But even if you don't believe in that, which is fine, really just from a psychological standpoint, thoughts are just patterns of behavior. They are they're habits, and the only way to break out of them is to stop doing them and to keep yourself from doing them, or to replace them with something else. Like sometimes you try to break a bad habit by supplanting it with a different action. So one thing you could do here might be to, every time you're thinking about something you're lacking, every time you're thinking about something that you're unhappy with, remind yourself of something that you are happy with. Remind yourself of something that you do have right now. And I think that will go a long way for you. So for my final set of cards here, I think I'm going to stick with this deck because I'm feeling it. I'm going to ask what you can do to keep your mental health in a better place over the next few months. Spirit, what can Group 1 do to protect their mental health and, just improve their overall well-being over the next few months? What should they be doing? Seems like they have some ideas coming out all crazy. What should Group 1 be doing? Okay. All right, so let's see what we have here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so one of the first things here is the Three of Pentacles reversed. Sorry, try to get that in a good frame so you can see it. Three of Pentacles reversed. This is a card about teamwork, collaboration. In this instance, because it is reversed, I think it is telling you not to be afraid to go it alone. If you find yourself alone and you're used to working collaboratively with others and something has happened to, make that change of late, I believe, this is a sign that you can do this alone. You maybe even should do this alone, because collaborating with others is actually going to interfere with your progress. And that to me is reinforced with the Six of Pentacles reversed here. The Six of Pentacles is about balance. It is balance of resources, time, money, any kind of material thing. So when it comes to the Six of Pentacles being reversed, it's saying make sure you don't get out of balance here. It's saying don't give away too much. Make sure that you are holding on to enough for yourself, and make sure that you are not giving so much to others that you don't have enough for yourself. And again, that may be why you need to go it alone for a little bit, because you just don't have enough to keep giving to others. You need to take care of yourself first, because if you are completely depleted, you will have nothing to give to anyone else. And you can't ever, as much as you may want to help others, as much as you may wish to give, if you want to be able to give long term, you have to make sure that you don't get completely depleted. So maintaining those boundaries, making sure you're not giving away more than you're receiving. Queen of Pentacles upright this time in terms of advice. So this is telling me it's time to be a wiser manager of your resources. And that's not to say that you're not managing your resources wisely. But it is to say I think what I want to say is more to have perspective about the way things are. To not get stuck in a lack or scarcity mindset, to be prudent with, what you invest your time and energy and money into. But to also feel secure, to know that you're going to be fine, to know that you are capable and in charge of this part of your life, to feel that confidence again, and not worry so much about what could go wrong, to feel like that confident queen on her throne. And finally, we have the Devil reversed. This tells me that there's a little bit of, there's some bad habits we need to break. There's some behavior that we need to resist falling back into. So, think about what your worst propensities are. Maybe it's overspending. Maybe it's, overindulging in substances or even food. Maybe it's, just self-defeating thoughts and behaviors, where, you're bombarding yourself with negative thoughts, making you think you can't. The Devil reversed is about breaking those negative cycles. I'll show you here that the devil is supposed to be, like Adam and Eve, I think, keeping them chained. And they're chained to, basically in Christian lore, to their sin. But to me, it's about being chained to bad habits, bad behaviors, the things that we slip back into that hold us back. So big key here is going to be resisting those things, finding better ways to cope, finding better things to fill your thoughts and to help you through those negative emotions. And I'm going to wrap it up here with your final advice card, which is to be truthful. And so coming at the end of all of this, I feel like more than anything, it's telling you to be truthful with yourself, to be honest about your circumstances and your flaws. And, it's kind of like they say, the first step is admitting you have a problem. The first step towards fixing it is acknowledging that something needs to be fixed. It could just mean being really honest with yourself as you're checking in with yourself. How am I really feeling? How am I really doing? And not to get too far away from the reality of the situation. And that may mean reminding yourself of the things that are good so you don't get so overwhelmed by the things that are bad. I'm gonna pull a bonus one for you just because that one was kind of just far from where we got to. It's gonna just cut it, but now I feel like I need to full on shuffle it because that's how I roll. One popped out, so clearly I needed to pick it up for a reason. Two popped out. Okay. All right. So the first card that popped out for you is consider alternatives. So if you feel like you're stuck in a bad situation, or you feel like you're kind of between a rock and a hard place, I feel like this card is telling you to think a little more, that there may be other ways to get out of the situation, that there may be other solutions. It's really about thinking outside the box and coming up with something other than what you've kind of been resigning yourself to. And finally, this is an opportunity in disguise, which does go back to that Ace of Pentacles, Four of Cups energy that we were talking about before, of there being something that may be an opportunity already in your life that you've been unsure about, or there's something that you haven't acknowledged as an opportunity yet or haven't seen as an opportunity yet. There is one coming. It may come in disguise. It may already be there and you just can't see it yet. It's time to really take a hard look at things, and I think you will find opportunities for things to get better. So group one, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again in a future video. Hello, if you chose group two, the little fairy tale castle and a flower shape, this is your reading on mental health going forward over the next few months. I'm going to keep this advice card for the end to kind of tie it all together. And I'm going to start off with what was on your flower piece. So this is the Hermit card, actually. The purple flowers in this handmade deck represent cards related to Earth, and the 9 being the major arcana of the Hermit. So this is saying it's a really good time to use this time of isolation and introspection to really reflect on things. Use it for good rather than seeing it as sort of a forced period of isolation. If you happen to be, quarantining or what have you, if you haven't been able to kind of keep to yourself lately, maybe saying it's time to take some time for yourself, to really get some time alone, to work things out for you. I'm going to get started to figure out kind of what the situation in your life right now is with my Cat Tarot deck, and kind of see what's going on right now and what is coming down the pike, kind of what trajectory you are on. See what we get here. Okay. All right. So I've got a lot of slippy slidey cards tonight. That's just how we're rolling. I'm going to take them. So first card out, we have the Four of Cups reversed. It's interesting because the Four of Cups also came out for group one. So if you felt a little bit drawn to group one as well, you might want to look at that video. But it could just be because the same energy is present. They had the Four of Cups upright. You have it reversed. What that tells me is that you have some regret. There's something that you turned down, something that may have been offered to you that you decided wasn't for you, and now you're wondering if maybe it actually was. It could also be just a more generalized regret of, was there more I could have or should have done? But really, regret is the main energy I get from the Four of Cups reversed. It can also just speak to kind of a rut, kind of an emotional rut that you can't quite get yourself out of. It's a difficult energy for sure. The next card we have is the Seven of Wands. And I know they don't look like wands, but they're cat toys in this deck. The Seven of Wands is a feeling of just constant battle. It's like you can't get a rest, you can't get a breather. Every time you turn around, there's something else you're fighting off. This could be too much work, too many family obligations, any kind of thing like that. It's really indicative of a feeling of just being under siege, being overwhelmed for sure, just completely energetically overwhelmed. Oftentimes it's more of a mental thing, more of a perception than a reality. The traditional Seven of Wands shows someone kind of fighting off these 6 other wands with their one, but it doesn't show you who's holding the other 6 wands. It's kind of like you're just out there fighting invisible forces. So this could be more of a mental state than anything that's really going on in your life. I know, just from my own life as an example, I tend to anxiety makes things a lot bigger in my head than they really are. And as I start to say them out loud to other people, I even start to wonder, why was I so upset about that? Why was I so worked up? And sometimes things just become so much bigger when you feel like they're just coming at you. You become overstimulated. The final card, give me just a second here. My throat's getting a little dry from talking more than I'm used to. The final card here is the Ten of Wands reversed. That tells me that you've been carrying a pretty heavy burden for a while, and you desperately want to put it down, but you feel like you can't. You feel like the work's not done, like there's no end in sight, like you're just stuck with this burden for a while, which could be another reason why this card is saying take some time alone. It could be literally saying take some time off. If that's not an option for you work-wise, I know how that can happen. Make sure that you're taking some time for you, even if it's little things like 10 minutes alone in a quiet space, just clearing your head. Anything you can do to give yourself that peace and alone and time to reflect would be really helpful right now, I think. I'm gonna go next to my, I'm gonna shake this up a little bit from group 1 actually, because I used my Modern Witch cards twice and I don't want to do that again. I want to clarify these with my Rider-Waite, and then I'll go to the Modern Witch for the advice question here at the end. So just some clarity on what's going on here. And I'm gonna get further clarifier on the Four of Cups reversed. Okay. All right. So the card that came out is the World. I think that you're sensing that you're worried that you left something unfinished. You're worried that you're worried about feeling incomplete, and tied back to this feeling of regret and possible missed opportunity. I think there's a struggle within you between, is this really over, and did I really want it to be over? There was another card that tried to pop. It just flipped and then it went back, and that was the Knight of Wands, which is a card of motion, journey, going down a new path. Really what I'm getting from these is that the regret is unfounded. That's the main thing I'm feeling. Things really did come to their natural conclusion, and it really was time for you to move forward in a new way. So don't worry so much about that cup that you turned down. You may have been right to do so. If the feeling is more a general feeling of being stuck in a rut, and there's nothing that you really regret, you just feel like you're stuck in place, you're feeling static, these two cards may be indicating that it's time to close this chapter of your life and start something new. If you're feeling like you're stuck in a rut at work, with, relationships, with, hobbies, anything that's got you feeling like, God, I'm just not that into this anymore. It may be time to go out and explore something new, something that you felt like you didn't really have the luxury to explore. Maybe it's about taking some time alone to reflect. could be about taking some time to yourself to explore something new in your life that's not necessarily connected to anything that's currently in your life. Let me go ahead and clarify the other cards and see if we get anything more that will kind of enlighten, explain. So the Seven of Wands. Okay. All right, so Seven of Wands is clarified by the Nine of Pentacles. What that tells me is that you feel like you're actually in a pretty good place. You feel like you have most of what you need. You're pretty content, but it seems like things just keep coming at you that threaten that contentment, that threaten that abundance. And you feel like you're constantly having to defend it from something. Let me pull one more clarifier because it's such an unusual combination of cards. That may mean that it's tapping into a very specific situation for one of you. And we have the Ten of Wands again, this time upright, which this was, remember, the Ten of Wands reversed. The Ten of Wands again, it's like your abundance has almost become a burden. You're feeling like you're working so hard to defend it that you're not even sure it's worth carrying anymore. And again, I just feel like most of this is a mental state. It's not necessarily related to the facts on the ground, so to speak. And I think you're just feeling really burdened by having to defend what you have and having to fight for what you have. And I'm not sure, we'll get to advice after this, but I'm not sure that it's really a necessary feeling. I think it could be a little bit self-defeating. So why the Ten of Wands reversed here? Why did that come out? Clarity, can you give us on that one, please? Okay. All right, yeah. So Ten of Coins reversed, or Ten of Pentacles reversed. I feel like you are so afraid of losing everything. You are so afraid of losing the contentment and happiness that you have built and found for yourself that you're kind of, it's become its own burden. The fear that you're carrying of losing is keeping you from enjoying what you have. It's very, very much getting in your way. Can I get any more clarity on that in terms of where this fear is coming from? What kind of threat that may be? Just trying to dial into this specific information for you. What's the origin of that feeling of fear and burden? Where's it coming from? Please, Spirit. One more shuffle. See what we can get out of here. All right, one more. I lied. Not just one more shuffle. I hate asking a question and not getting a card for it, so it could just be that I'm not hitting upon the right card. Because I feel like there should be an answer for that. Maybe we're not meant to know the answer for that. There we go. Okay. All right. So this came out reversed. The Ace of Cups reversed. I think the reason that you're so afraid of losing your material stability is because you're missing a certain level of internal fulfillment. You have, an empty cup, so to speak. You're not emotionally fulfilled by what you're doing with your life in some way. Something's missing. And so you've kind of turned to the material world to give you a sense of fulfillment, wholeness, comfort, and because that's not a true source of what you really need, you feel like losing it is going to just reveal this emptiness. It's going to reveal that there's going to be nothing to fall back on, basically, you know. It's like there's no sort of internal warmth and strength and resilience to fall back on. So it's left you very, very scared of losing the external trappings. That's some heavy stuff, group 2, and I hope none of this is coming out as judgment, you know, because fear is real and valid, and, you know, I don't want to diminish it in any way. I think that your fear is maybe a little bit misdirected. It's caused by one thing, but it's being interpreted as related to something else. And the fear is a part of your mental emotional state, but you're attaching it to your material financial state. And so separating the two might be helpful to you. For the final tarot cards I'm going to draw here, I'm going to ask for advice on what you can do to improve your situation, to improve what's coming in the next few months, to really take care of yourself better. So Spirit, what advice do you have for group 2? Gotta pull a few for you, which is some really good solid advice. Anything else? That last one. All right, what do we have here? Okay, so I'm gonna actually talk first about the last card that just came out, which is the Six of Pentacles reversed. This is another one that also came out for group 1. So again, if you're feeling drawn to both piles, that could be why. The Six of Pentacles talks about balance. Balance of your effort, time, resources. The Six of Pentacles portrays someone who has a lot, giving to sort of beggars, or to, you know, just to those who are in need. But when it's reversed like this, it's a warning not to give more than you can afford to give. It's a warning about setting boundaries. It's a warning about really considering what people are asking for and whether you can afford to give it. It's basically making sure that in giving to others, you don't give away so much that you suddenly cannot manage, and you find yourself in a position of needing to beg from others. It's kind of, it's just keeping the balance is really all it's about. Keeping yourself in a place where you give just as much as you can and you keep just as much as you need, and you never kind of go above or below that sort of peak level. The first card that came out was the King of Cups. So this talks about emotional mastery. This talks about really knowing what's going on inside of you, really understanding your emotional state and your emotional responses to others, responding to others with compassion and empathy, and sort of that deeper wisdom rather than reacting emotionally, irrationally emotionally, I should say, because empathy and compassion are reacting emotionally. They're just reacting in a positive way. They're assuming the best of intent of others, and understanding where people are coming from, and not kind of flying off the handle. So I think it really comes back to the Hermit coming out in the beginning here. It's taking some time to really get to know yourself on an emotional level so that you are sort of in command and in control of those emotions. And you know, the King of Cups can be someone who is very compassionate and wise and caring, but doesn't necessarily wear their heart on their sleeves. They don't necessarily show their emotions to others. Making sure that you're not bottling up too much. But, you know, as long as you're really in touch with what's going on, it may not be necessary to, you know, talk about it ad nauseum. It's just about finding some mastery of that. King of Pentacles also came out as advice. So where the King of Cups is, you know, an emotional mastery, the King of Pentacles is a sort of material financial mastery. And more than that, I think it's about confidence in your ability to provide for yourself and those who depend on you. It's about security, knowing that you have invested in the right things and you have what you need going forward. Again, I'm feeling a lot of scarcity and fear of loss in your initial cards. And I think this is a reminder to stay in control and to stay aware of everything that you've built and everything that you've done to give yourself this firm footing. To know that you really are in control of this part of your life. It's not something that you have to live in fear about. And finally, we have Justice reversed. I will say this up front, I don't necessarily think this is the case for anyone watching this video, but I want to throw it out there as a possibility. If you feel that you have done something to someone else that was unjust, if you feel like there is something that you must do penance for, something that you have gotten away with, something that you've been hiding, it may be time to get that out. It is time to right that wrong, to upright justice. Make sure justice is done. Do what's fair, do what's right, come clean. But I think that in this case, it has more to do with the fact that the Justice card is, you know, carrying scales. It is about balance. It is about, you know, and to me, the Justice card is a lot about balancing fairness and compassion, understanding that you don't always have to throw the book at people, you know, leaving room for things to be corrected, leaving room for things to be repaid, for making amends. Really, more than anything, I think it's about getting into balance, making sure that you are not putting all of your energy in one place and none of your energy in another. It's about restoring that balance between head and heart, really finding your way back into some kind of equilibrium, where you are feeling secure, where you are feeling like you're on level footing. And, you know, there's not something just kind of waiting to pull the rug out from underneath of you. I think that that's really what you need to feel secure and stable, is to find that balance. And to end it off, I will go back to the card that was your advice card in the very beginning. All right. Great message. So coming to the end of it, your card is I had to make sure I was quoting it right. The happiest endings follow the most adversity. It's clearly a fairy tale princessy kind of vibe with the Once Upon a Time. But I think one of the major lessons that we take out of those kind of fairy tales is that the road is not easy for most of these characters. A lot of times people blame Disney for giving women unrealistic expectations about relationships, right? Because, the princes are just perfect and they just rescue you and it's great. But if you really look at most of those stories, there's a lot that has to be gotten through before you get to the happily ever after. let's take Sleeping Beauty, for example. Yes, she sleeps through most of the really bad stuff, but she still had to cope with finding out that she wasn't who she was raised to believe she was, and that she was engaged to someone she'd never met, even though she had met him, she just didn't know it yet. She faced a lot of emotional adversity there. Cinderella, yeah, she met the prince and it was love at first sight, but then she went home to her evil stepmother who tried to lock her up and keep her from getting her happy ending. Beauty and the Beast. For one thing, he's a beast. There's your first obstacle. For the next thing, he nearly dies. So there's all of these stories have a lot of adversity that you have to get through before you get to that warm, fuzzy, happily ever after. And I think it's just a good reminder that whatever you're going through here, no matter how hard it is, you are going to come out on the other side. And the more that you get through here, the more you're going to be rewarded with at the end. And I think that maybe some of your fear of loss is because you've already been through a lot of adversity and now you feel like you can't trust the happy ending. This card tells me that you can. But if you're just very, very afraid of facing the adversity, this card to me says you can get through it and you will, and it's going to bring you greater rewards than you could imagine right now. So whichever of those scenarios applies best to you, that's the advice that I feel for you going forward. Just more than anything right now, take some time to yourself, really get to know yourself and feel that stability and confidence, knowing yourself and what you're capable of. If you believe in, chakras and those kind of energies traveling through the body, some root chakra work might be a great idea to help you feel more stable, and to help you feel more, grounded and confident. But if you're not into spiritual kind of things and you just kind of clicked on this because you saw mental health and you've been struggling, really the most important thing is to take some time to reflect, to introspect, to get to know yourself. And I think once you do that, you will feel better prepared to handle what's coming towards you in your life. So group 2, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again in a future video. Hello, this will be group 3's reading. If you chose the starburst shape and the polka dot card, I'm going to start with your shaped card, and I'm going to save this advice card for the very end to kind of tie it all together. For your message, we have the Queen of Wands. Inspire those around you. The Queen of Wands is an incredibly magnetic energy. It comes with this kind of effortless charisma where you really do have the capability to persuade and inspire others. It's kind of a natural leadership, this sort of charm and vibrancy that really draws others in and makes them excited about, the things that you're excited about. So this is a great space to be in. You may not know that you have this ability. I think that's why that came out, to tell you that you can do pretty much anything you set your mind to, because you do have this magnetic energy where you're going to be able to draw in people to help you. But we'll get straight into tarot to sort of find out what's going on and what trajectory you're on for the next few months. So I'm going to start with my cat tarot, because for me, nothing says mental issues like cats. Cat lovers, please don't be offended. I am a cat lady myself, and I like to poke fun at them, but I love these cards because they are in cat language, and I understand that language very well. So for group 3, where are we at right now, and what trajectory are we on? What can you tell me, Spirit? Tell me for group 3. Okay. It was a whole lot of nothing and then a whole lot of something. So let me get these out of the way and we'll dive in. All right, first card out, the 4 of Swords reversed. This tells me that you've been in a period of rest, reflection, solitude, looking inward for a while now. And you're starting to feel like you need to come out of it. You're starting to feel like you need to get back in touch with the world at large. Yeah, you're just starting to feel like you've been in bed for too long, basically. And it may come with a little bit of fear of getting back out there, and that's okay. Next card, the 3 of Swords reversed. So I'm guessing whatever set you into this position was some kind of loss, some kind of grief. A lot of people associate the 3 of Swords with some sort of romantic heartbreak, but it can really be any kind of emotional pain, any kind of emotional grief, loss of a job, loss of a friend, loss of a family member. It doesn't have to be physical loss. It can just be, you know, not having that relationship available to you anymore. You know, divorce causes a kind of grief. You know, fighting with a friend and having the silent treatment, that can be a kind of grief. So whatever it is, big or small, I sense that there's been something going on with you that has caused you a lot of pain, but you're finally coming out of it. You're finally getting to a place where you feel like it's not holding you down like it was, like it's not stabbing your heart like the 3 of Swords does. You're healing, basically. You're coming out of that space of grief. Oh, great cards. So your next card is the Knight of Cups. That tells me that you're ready to explore something emotional. You're ready to explore something creative, close to the heart. So it could be some kind of creative project, something that brings you a lot of emotional fulfillment. It could be something, you know, just being ready to have emotional entanglements again, feeling like you're ready to open up to people, feeling like you're ready to make new friends or find a new love interest. The Knight of Cups is really about starting that emotional journey. And it shows a cat very much sticking its head in a cup. And, you know, to some extent, it's a problem because the cat can't see anything but the cup. But to another extent, it's sort of diving right in, not being afraid of what's in that cup, just shoving your whole head in and really embracing it. And I feel like in this sense, it's the embracing it that needs to be done. And we have the Knight of Swords, which is another card that says go. This cat is taking a flying leap. And so for me, when you have both the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords, what this is an endeavor that is both mentally, intellectually, and emotionally, creatively very fulfilling for you. It's something that really connects head and heart, something that you can really get passionate and excited about and that you're not going to get bored with anytime soon. So if there's something that you've been thinking about starting, or if there's just sort of the root of an idea kind of poking around, I think it's time to go. It's time to really look into this. It's time to really embrace it. And I know that this reading was supposed to be mainly about, you know, mental health. What I'm seeing here is that, yeah, you've probably been in kind of a difficult, dark place, but right now you're in a good place. You have finally made your way back to the starting line for the race, and you're feeling like you're over whatever was keeping you from running that race. And it's a scary feeling to dive back in, but it's also really exciting and really brings a lot of opportunity. So I'm feeling all kinds of encouragement for you, Group 3. I think it's time to go do great things. I'm going to pull some clarifiers on the cards that we have here. And then I'm going to pull some advice cards for you, Group 3. So, woo, we're just trying to hop on out. Let's see. 4 of Swords, if you could clarify that for me, please. Okay, yeah. So 4 of Swords is clarified by Temperance. This time of rest and retreat and inward work has been essential. It's been tempering you. And that's temperance in the sense of tempering metals to get them to the right state so that they're stronger than they were before. It's, you know, when you combine different elements and work them in just the right way, you can take something that was brittle or weak and turn it into something really strong and enduring. And it takes a lot of time, and we can be really impatient about it. But that patience and that waiting and working is paying off, and you are growing into something better and stronger. You really are. You've put that work in. Clarifier for the 3 of Swords reversed. What's that one about? Okay, all right. So, okay. All right, so I feel like there may have been some false starts in the past. I have both the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups reversed that fell out there. Yeah, I think that you maybe tried some things before when you were less experienced, when you were less sure of what you were doing. You were just kind of going for it. And it, you know, it kind of fell flat, and it left you in a state of wondering if it was something you were really ever meant to try, if it was something that you could ever succeed at. And it could be that whatever caused you your grief left you without a lot of inspiration, without a lot of creativity. It could have left your cups really empty. And so whatever thing that you were excited to try, you kind of found yourself no longer excited about. It was really more about just getting through the pain. Furthermore, we have the Nine of Cups. And this to me is a card about contentment. Because you were healing from something, because you were struggling with something, you were content to just sort of have enough. You weren't reaching for that 10th cup. You were fine with the 9 that you had. You were just surviving, kind of. More than surviving, you were doing okay. You were moderately happy. It was maybe not everything you dreamed of, but you were getting by, is what I'm sensing from all of this. And so, you know, especially if this was some kind of creative project that fell through for you, or, you know, some kind of career endeavor that fell through for you, you may have found yourself something else to get by. And now you're feeling like, well, why should I even try that again when I have something stable, I have something that's got me reasonably happy and comfortable. Why take the risk? But I'm not seeing a lot of risk here. We'll go ahead and keep clarifying. So there may be more that I need to know before I give you advice. And this is supposed to be just clarifiers. So, Knight of Cups. Can you tell me more about the Knight of Cups? Okay, yeah. So just going again to taking leaps of faith and trying things out. The Fool reversed. The Fool upright is about starting a new journey. It's about just jumping off the edge of the cliff and feeling every bit of certainty that it's going to be fine. With the Fool reversed has a little more hesitation. It's like, I jumped off that cliff before and it was not okay. So why on earth would I jump off it again? And, you know, for me, the Fool reversed is a lot about not letting getting burned once keep you from trying again. That's not to say you should jump off cliffs, but there may be other ways to get to where you want to be, and you're not even seeing them because you're just thinking about the time you failed, and you're thinking about this thing you did the first time that didn't work, and you can't see past that obstacle. That was a lot. But I feel like you are yearning for some kind of fresh start. There's a lack of optimism, a lack of belief. A certain fear is holding you back. So Knight of Swords. Can you tell me about the Knight of Swords? So for Knight of Swords, we have the Two of Cups reversed. What I'm seeing with all of the rest of this, reading it as part of the whole, I think that whatever you tried before may have involved another person. It may have involved some kind of partnership. It may have required a lot of healing work. And so I think whatever that was, the failure may have not just disrupted your project, but also, disrupted relationships. It could have left you feeling very reluctant to work with someone else again. It could have just left you feeling really imbalanced. It could have left you feeling like an emotional piece was missing. And without it, you were just kind of not whole enough to do what you really wanted to do. But more than anything, I'm feeling a sense of a partnership falling through. And so I think that's another part of the fear that's holding you back, is that the last time you tried it, it didn't work out on multiple levels. And the partnership that you went into to try to make it work also failed. And that would add an extra layer of reticence. So we said all that, we've described the situation. I'm gonna go into advice now, because that's what we're all here for, right? We wanna know what we can do. So Spirit, please give me your advice for group 3, how to go forward, how to get through these next few months, and really do what's best for their mental health and well-being. How can they take care of that? What do they need to do? Okay. What do they need to do? Anything else? Okay. All right. Okay, so that's quite a lot. All right. So first up, we had the Four of Swords, which was the first card that came out here, reversed. And we took it as you having been in a period of rest and rejuvenation. So the Four of Swords coming out as advice, I would normally say means take some more rest, take some more time to yourself. I do think that may be true here, that there may be more time you need to take before you really dive into this. But if that doesn't resonate for you, I'm just feeling like this isn't for every single person that's going to watch this. And I know that's fuzzy and jumbled, but it's just the feeling, which is what we're doing here. It's intuitive. I feel like this is mostly about mental stability with the Four of Swords, fours being a place of, stability, like 4 legs on a table or a chair or what have you. It's an even number, it's a balanced number with the fours. I think it could just be about getting yourself to a really good, solid mental state, making sure that's in order before you move on to the next thing, before you start adding new things to the mix. And next we have the Ace of Wands reversed. what that tells me is that there is an opportunity developing. There's some spark of inspiration that's waiting to occur. There's some, some creative opportunity that may be knocking on your door any day now. It's not here yet. That's why it's reversed. But it is coming. And so maybe the thing you need to do to be prepared for it is just to keep resting up and get yourself in the best place possible to both recognize and be ready to embrace this opportunity. The next card we have is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is sort of often described as like a spy. It's someone who is maybe a little bit of a novice communicator. They're kind of a messenger more than a speaker. They're someone who's still in the early stages of learning, so they could be kind of an apprentice, or somebody who's doing recon, somebody who's gathering intel, somebody who's gathering information to make a better decision. So what that tells me here is that this is a good time for you to do your research, to just start gathering information, put your feelers out there. For some of you, if there's something you've been holding back, if you haven't been speaking up, if you haven't been talking about your ideas, if you haven't been sharing them with anyone, you really should. It's time to speak. It's time to share. You may feel like you're not ready. You may feel like you're too much of a novice, but you're not. You're fine. You are actually in this Queen of Wands energy, and what you tell people is actually going to inspire them and bring them on board to your plans. So definitely, this card is telling me don't keep too quiet. You may bumble through things a little bit, but that's okay. That's part of learning. And now is a great time to start that learning, whether that's just doing your research or starting to plan things out, getting the lay of the land, gathering your information. Now is the time. And finally, Six of Cups. Six of Cups is all about emotional balance. It's about feeling connected with the past and childhood and all the sources of love and comfort that you remember from that time. It's about feeling as though you are giving as much love and emotional support as you are receiving from others. To me, what it says more than anything is that you have a lot of support around you, that there will be those who will help you, that you are in a good emotionally balanced place and you should stay there. So protect this, but don't be overprotective. Make sure that you're keeping yourself emotionally fulfilled, because that's how you're going to give to others and support others, and accept that help and support from them. Accept the cup that they offer you, especially if you are feeling like a novice, if you are feeling like you don't know what you're doing, if you're feeling like the child in this card who's receiving the cup from the adult. Accept it. It's okay. It's okay to receive that help. And it is, it's the tables are going to turn one day. You are going to one day be the person offering the cup. So it's a cycle, and it's about balance. So giving and receiving emotional support is the main thing to take away from that card. And for your final card, we're going to look at this advice card that came out with your first cards. Okay, so this is a great one. It's celebrate small victories. So to me, what that says more than anything is you are going to be starting small. You are starting on a journey here. You are starting to make movement forward. Don't feel like you have to do it all in a day. Don't feel like it has to happen overnight. Celebrate the small victories as they come. Celebrate any small little victory. If getting out of bed in the morning and having a good day is a victory for you, celebrate it, appreciate it. Every little bit of progress you make. Don't sit there and go, well, I got this done, but I really wanted to do X, Y, and Z as well. Don't put it down like that. Celebrate what you got done. Celebrate the little victories. And the more you do that, the more those little victories will accumulate and become huge successes. So yeah, group 3, I feel like you are in a fine position to get through these next few months. The main thing for you is to keep a steady mental state and to keep a steady emotional state and to embrace the opportunities that are coming forward. And I think you're gonna see great progress in your life. Whatever it is that disappointed you before, I think you will see a much different version of that in your future. So I'm going to leave it there, group 3. I hope this was helpful, and I hope I will see you again in another reading. Hello, group 4. If you chose the Someday My Prince Will Come card with the large starburst, this will be your reading. Sorry, getting tongue-tied after recording 3 of these already. We're gonna find out what it is you need to know about, your current mental state and how to stay or get in a better one in the future. So I'm gonna put the advice card to the side for now. We're gonna look at that at the end to kind of tie everything together. And we're gonna start off with this one. So this is the Ace of Wands, which is a great card. It says there is opportunity down the path that you're considering. So if there's something you've been thinking about doing, if there's something that's been presented to you that you're weighing right now, know that there is a tremendous opportunity in it. There is a path forward for you that has a lot of opportunity for success, vibrancy, creativity, just a lot of warmth and passion and fire down that road. So let's dig into the tarot and see what's going on there. So for the first set of cards, I'm just going to ask kind of where you're at right now and what's coming, what kind of trajectory you are on. See if anybody wants to pop out. In group 4. Where are we at with group 4? Okay, can we get one more spirit? One more group 4. Okay, that's the one. All right, group 4, let's see what we've got here. All right, so our first card is the Page of Wands reversed. This tells me that this reinforces the Ace of Wands. It's the start of something. It is the initial spark of inspiration. There's something that's caught your attention that you maybe don't know a lot about. You're maybe not very experienced with. You're not sure if it's something that you should pursue, but it keeps just picking away at the corners of your mind. And that's sort of where we're at right now. Because it's reversed, I feel like we're not fully ready to embrace it. I should add that. That's why it's reversed. It's like it's not fully ready to come out, really. It's like you may not even have fully realized that it's there. It's sort of cooking in the background. Yeah. I think you could be feeling some insecurity about the lack of experience and the lack of knowledge, and that may be holding you back. Okay, so next card is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is a card about walking away from what you know because you feel like it's not what's meant for you. There's something else out there that's meant for you, and you have to leave a situation to go find it. This can be any kind of situation. It could be a job, it could be a friendship, it could be a relationship. Whatever it is something that you are emotionally invested in. That's why it's cups. But you're feeling like it's not fulfilling you the way that you need it to. And so you're wondering if it's time to go look for a different cup. And Queen of Swords. So we're really coming into some hard truths, some really rational thinking. It may be that this is preventing you from making progress, or it could be that it is the sort of enlightenment. Because it is upright, I feel like it's more positive. It's more of an awakening awareness, a growing mental understanding, a growing clarity of what's going on in your life, and a more rational ability to make decisions as you move forward. Yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling on the meaning of this card and go to some clarifiers to get a better idea of your situation and how to move forward. So, Page of Wands, what can you tell me about that? Page of Wands. Okay, that's a little too much maybe. I'm gonna reshuffle that. I apologize for before. All right, we can get, just 1 or 2 cards for the Page of Wands. That would be swell. Yeah, we got a lot trying to come out. Page of Wands. Or I've just been shuffling too much tonight and I've lost all fine motor skills. There we go. All right, so Wheel of Fortune reversed is coming out under the Page of Wands reversed. So I think there's a sense that this isn't the right time, or that we've been the victim of bad luck in the past. I feel like it's more your present feeling about the situation though. It's like, this isn't the right time to do this. This isn't the right time to make a change. I don't know that that's the reality. I think that that's more your mental state about it. You are feeling like it's not the right time. 8 of Cups. Why the 8 of Cups? Okay. Again, a lot to say. Let's see who's in here. Okay. So the main card that came out under the 8 of Cups is the King of Cups. And that's really about emotional mastery and emotional objectivity. It's not cutting off from your emotions like you would with, some pure swords energy. It's really understanding how you're feeling and being able to kind of look at it from the outside, look at it from a clear perspective. It's about going forward with compassion and empathy and understanding how others are feeling, not sacrificing your own emotions for others, but doing what needs to be done in a way that is empathetic and compassionate and understanding. And with that coming out under the 8 of Cups, I really think that it is, I think that for one thing, it's telling you that you do need to get really deep and truly in touch with your feelings so that you can make this decision. But if you do decide to walk away from a situation, it's about really being in control of your emotions so that you can do it in a way that is kind and emotionally supportive to everyone involved. Queen of Swords. Need some clarity on that. Okay, that one clearly wants to come out. So, Queen of Swords is clarified by the 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords talks about just being really overwhelmed by anxiety. It's having 9 swords clanging around in your head, it's very distracting, it's very overwhelming, it's overstimulating. I think that the Queen of Swords being clarified by this is what you're clearing up. This is what you are coming into greater clarity about. You are releasing some of the anxieties that have held you back. You are coming into an awareness about which of these are, you know, true fears, true things that you should be concerned about, and which are just worries, which are just hypotheticals, which are just things that you have manufactured in your head. It's a growing wisdom and intelligence about your own thought processes and the things that hold you back and the things that you need to actually deal with, I think. I'm gonna pull just a couple more clarifiers on this because I feel like Spirit didn't give me a ton of information, and I want to get a little bit more before we go to advice. So I'm gonna ask on this one, why the Ace of Wands? What is that opportunity that we're considering? What can you tell me about that opportunity and why it might be in question? What does that look like? Okay. Maybe not all of that. Okay, so, all right, so we have the Two of Swords reversed. That talks about a mental blockage, an impasse, just feeling kind of stuck in your head. So I think that whatever this opportunity is, it's like part of you has been shutting it down instantaneously without even being able to consider it, because something's blocking the way, something's making it seem like it's not even in the realm of possibility. Okay. The next card we have is the Devil reversed. That's a card about releasing our darkest thoughts, releasing our bad habits, especially our bad mental habits. It's about getting away from bad habits, practices, vices, negative tendencies, and breaking free and overcoming those things. So I think part of what's keeping you from going down whatever path this is that you've got some self-limiting beliefs, you've got some fears, you've got some baggage in your past, you've got some bad habits that you're not sure you can break, any number of things there. But it's in your head. It really is in your head more than anything else. And finally, strength. I think whatever this opportunity is, it's something that would require a little bit of courage and a little bit of soft strength to achieve. It's something that would require some coaxing, some persuasion, some soothing of ruffled fur. In this case, I wanted to say ruffled feathers, but there's a lion on this card. It's something that would require you to be a little brave and a little bit stronger than maybe you feel like you can be. I think you can, and I think this card wouldn't come out like this if you couldn't. But it is something that requires a little bit of stiffening of the spine, I guess is what I want to say. So let's go to advice now. So for group 4, Spirit, what advice do you have for them on moving forward? What should they be doing, and how can they stay in the best sort of mental health and well-being as they do it? Okay, I'm gonna take a look. All right, so to start with, 7 of Wands reversed. I feel like you're fighting some internal battles, and that's really gonna drain you of your energy. So the main message I'm getting out of this card is to get out of your own way. so to speak. Fight the real obstacles that are out there. Fight the real challenges and problems you're going to face. Don't fight yourself, because that's just, you're putting twice the energy in, because you're fighting on both sides of this thing, and you don't need to. Really get on the same page with yourself internally, unify all those 7 wands and use them to get to where you want to be. Just getting out of this embattled posture is really important. Okay, a 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is a sign that you need to make sure that you're getting plenty of rest. Make sure that you take time to sit a few rounds out, because it does indicate exhaustion, burnout. It's a feeling of, can I keep doing this? Am I gonna make it? Can I keep going on like this? Because it's upright, I think the answer is clearly like you can, if you take the time out to rest. You can keep going, but you need to replenish yourself. Persevere, but don't persevere at the expense of yourself. So make time to rest and take time to rest, and don't burn out your energy too fast. 9 of Swords reversed. We had the 9 of Swords earlier. Now it's coming out reversed. That is a reminder to release your anxieties. Don't let all those cluttered thoughts in your head rule your life. And believe me, I know that what I'm saying right now is a lot easier said than done. I have said it before and I'll say it again. I am a Gemini with a Pisces moon. It is a cluster of thoughts and feelings inside of me that are constantly just this roiling, clattering mess. And it can be incredibly overstimulating, and it is really hard to turn it off. But taking the effort to release the things that scare you, taking the effort to release the burdens that aren't yours, reminding yourself every day of what is real and what is just in your head is going to pay off. It's going to be really important for releasing that worry and stress that's not really meant for you to carry. And finally, we have the Page of Wands upright. So again, we have the Page of Wands reversed to start out with. Now it's upright in terms of advice. It's saying, don't worry about being a novice. Don't worry about what you don't know. Don't worry that you don't really know what you're doing or where you're going. Just start taking the first steps. Embrace the journey. Just give it a go. If you are willing to learn and willing to try, things are gonna unfold in a good way for you. I truly believe that from these cards. And group 4, your reading is a little bit shorter than the others have been, but I feel like the message is a lot more direct. It is about taking the path that you've been pondering. You've maybe been thinking, God, I don't know if I can walk away from where I'm at. I don't know if this is a road I should go down, if it's worth the risk. I think the message is very clear that it is, and that as long as you take care of yourself and fight off that sense of anxiety, you're gonna be in great shape. But we're gonna wrap it up with your advice card here, and that advice card is, if it doesn't feel right, let it go. Okay, so that goes right back to your 8 of Cups. Whatever in your life that you've been wondering about walking away from, this is confirmation. If it doesn't feel right, it's okay to let it go. So in terms of final advice, all I can say is go for it. Whatever you're considering, whatever you've been thinking about, let go of what doesn't feel right to you and go pursue something that does, even if you're not sure about it, even if it feels like a risk. It is one worth taking. So group 4, I hope that that helped you out. I hope that I see you again for another reading down the road. Thank you.